Breaking news, folks, the Tuskegee Airmen and the Women Air Force Service pilots, some of World War II's biggest heroes, just got grounded again. The Air Force has removed their training videos to comply with Trump's federal crackdown on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The Tuskegee Airmen, known as the Red Tails, were the first black military pilots famous for escorting bombers with one of the lowest loss rates in World War II. Meanwhile, the WASPs transported bombers from factories to front lines, freeing up male pilots for combat. Both groups broke barriers and shaped history. The Air Force says it's just following orders, but critics question whether erasing these stories from training helps inspire future recruits. Grounding legends may follow protocol, but their stories will always soar.
Let's talk a little bit about malicious compliance, because that's exactly what's happening here. There's an entire story being told to the American people about how horrible it is that DEI is going away, and they're going to do everything in their power to make it as quote-unquote painful as possible. That's what this Tuskegee Airman thing is about with the Air Force. They're going to try to tell you that ending DEI at all is just a way for things to go back to being racist, because it's 1865 in the minds of these people. In fact, they need it to be that way. So what are they doing? They're removing things that have nothing to do with DEI so they can say, look at this. And what you're going to end up with is stuff like this. From United States Representative Terry Sewell talking about what's going on with the Air Force removing the Tuskegee Airmen from a class that apparently Air Force recruits get. Now, nobody wants this to be removed. Nobody asked for this. Nobody's referring to this when they're talking about DEI, but they're doing it anyway in order to cause pain. It's malicious compliance.
Well, Alabama U.S. Representative Terry Sewell fighting back tonight against a recent executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion removal on the federal level. Because of the crackdown, she says the Air Force has removed training courses with education on the Tuskegee Airmen. In a statement, she says the airmen bravely fought and died for our freedoms before the country even granted them full citizenship benefits. She's now calling on the Air Force to reverse this policy so history will not be erased.
This, of course, is not the first time we've heard this, and it will not be the last. Many of us know story after story about different librarians removing things like the Bible or other books from the library because they're being told they can't have books that are sexual in nature. They're not asking them to actually remove those books, but they're doing it in order to cause pain. Now, here's what the outcome of this should all be. Donald Trump should come out and say, this is not what we're talking about. This is an overreaction, and Pete Hegseth is going to fix this. They should find the people responsible for doing things like this, and they should fire their ass.